name is Chris Martel. This is my oral presentation for my Nuc-495 course at Thomas Edison State University. Um, the title of our project, of my group project, is The Future of Nuclear Energy, Technology, Materials, and Applications of Modular Reactors. My group mates are Andrew, Matthew, Justin, Wayne, John, and myself. My portion of this oral presentation is going to be on the regulation overview of the application process for building a new power plant. Nuclear plants are complex construction projects. Their construction time is longer and larger than constructing a regular power plant. It's usually expected to build a nuclear power plant in the United States between 5 to 7 years, not taking into account the time required for licensing and planning before construction even begins. The regulations to apply and get the permits required to build a nuclear power plant is a process that takes enormous amounts of time, as well as very complex rules and regulations that have to be met by the Nuclear Reactor Commission, Regulatory Commission, before the construction of a power plant can even begin. The U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, also known as NRC, was created as an independent agency by Congress in 1974 to ensure the safe use of radioactive materials for beneficial civilian purposes while protecting people and the environment. The NRC regulates commercial nuclear power plants and other uses of nuclear material, such as nuclear medicine, through licensing, inspecting, and enforcement of its requirements. The NRC regulations that are important to pertaining to the design, siting, and constructing and operating of a new power plant facility is Part 51, Environmental Protection Regulations for Domestic Licensing related to regulatory functions, and Part 52, Licenses, Certifications, and Approvals of Nuclear Power Plants. Both of these licenses include the participation of the public. For a new reactor facility, the NRC would review the application submitted by the future prospective licensee. The process of licensing and building a nuclear energy facility begins with first selecting a design. A design certification review takes 4 to 5 years to ensure that any new reactor design meets the criteria of the U.S. NRC's safety requirements. Only after all legal requirements are met and the NRC's technical experts are completely certain and satisfied that the design would be safe, would the design be written in the NRC's regulations. The NRC encourages the public to participate and will have numerous opportunities to take comments on the design during the regulation writing process by coming into a public hearing where they will be open to debate and explain their concerns. Of course, we're talking about the public in this section. A design certification approves a new reactor design, but does not provide permission to build anything. The preceding step into building and operating a nuclear power plant is to apply for an early site permit. The National Environmental Policy Act, also known as NEPA, was one of the first laws ever written that establishes the broad national framework for protecting our environment. NEPA's basic policy is to ensure the government gives proper consideration to the environment prior to any major construction that can affect the environment. Title I of NEPA encompasses a declaration of national environmental policy. On this policy, the federal government requires to put into place all practicable and applicable means to maintain and create conditions where man and nature can safely coexist in a healthy and harmonious environment. Section 102 in Title I of NEPA requires federal agencies to establish, incorporate, and take into account the environment in their planning and decision making through a systematic interdisciplinary approach. In addition, all federal agencies are to prepare a very detailed statement discussing the environmental impact of and alternatives to major federal actions significantly affecting the environment. An early site permit review takes up to 3 years, including extensive safety and environmental reviews, and once again, a hearing to address public concerns. The review determines whether a piece of land is an appropriate location to support a new nuclear reactor. An early site permit does not authorize construction of a reactor. An early site permit review requires the applicant to perform extensive research and analysis. For an early site permit, 2 public comment meetings are held near the proposed site. One early in the review, and again one after the draft environmental impacts statement is published. Comments from citizens and governmental agencies are addressed in the final impact statement. The NRC also reviews site safety and emergency preparedness issues before deciding if the permit would be or could be granted. The early site permit is valid for 20 years and can be extended if required. Last but not least, the basic step that needs to be taken prior to building a nuclear power plant is the application for a combined license. The NRC takes up to 3.5 years to review combined license applications, including a hearing to address public concerns. The review determines whether building a specific reactor design at a specific site meet the NRC's requirement. A combined license that references a certified design, an early site permit, or both can significantly simplify the information the NRC must review. A combined license provides permission to build a nuclear power plant and allows initial operation if certain criteria and specific conditions are met. Combined licenses include review of the environmental work that either looks at the site or a supplement what was reviewed for an early site permit. As with the early site permit, the NRC seeks public input early in the review and also again after a draft impact statement. A combined license is valid for 40 years from the date that the criteria were met and the commission finding. Also, a combined license can be renewed for an additional 20 years. As part of the safety review, the NRC and applicant assemble a list of inspections, tests, analysis, and acceptance criteria that must be performed to show that the nuclear plant reactor has been built and designed and approved. The NRC call this criteria ITAAC while the plant is under construction. Specialized, experienced NRC safety from the agency's new construction inspection program will monitor a plant's ITAAC process. Once a licensee tells the NRC it's finished with ITAAC, the public has the opportunity to challenge that specific claim. The NRC has assembled the best and the brightest technical experts available to review the many applications the NRC expects as the independent overseer in nuclear safety of the United States. I hope this has brought some clarity as to what is required for some of the regulations to build a new power plant and design. Thank you for watching.